This does like ring true to me on that level, because when I first started losing my hair, I was like, I genuinely went to one of these like trichologist guys. Yeah, I was a student at the time and this was like, I still had like a full head of hair at the time. Right. I was just like noticing, and I was like really kind of self-conscious about certain things. So I went to this trichologist, and he was like, yeah, you know, that'll be £300 for this 3-month course of a miracle breakthrough. Basically, he didn't use the words of the Simpsons use of the miracle breakthrough, but it was a similar kind of vibe of like, you know, like this is your miracle breakthrough.
So £300 for eternal happiness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So I used it to a T. For 3 months, I was properly on that. Right. And like, how'd
that work out?
Badly. It didn't. I think it'll probably ring true to most people who are losing hair in one form or the other, whether it's male pattern baldness or what I have, which is some weird, like, just more if it's like stress related.
If Lisa was a real person in this day and age, vegetarian, Buddha, she would be Instagramming it up. Like people would be following, retweeting her tweets. She'd have like, do you know what I mean? Because like the funny thing about her being an outcast within the realms of Springfield is like she's perfect as a hipster douchebag in real life. Like, you know, like
she's one of the Shoreditch lot.
Like 100%. Like she would be famous. Like, you know what I mean?
I've got a love-hate relationship with the Shoreditch lot.
Do you know why I've got a love-hate relationship? Yeah, because I'm aware that my hair's big and shit, and I'm aware that people can stare to a degree, yeah? Right. That's cool. I'm happy that I've blessed you enough to a degree that your sad little existence means that I take center stage for a minute. Do you know what I mean? Okay. That's cool. That's cool. All right, okay. Like, the thing about the Shoreditch people with my hair, right, is you got someone looking at you like you done something fucked up, and they're there with rainbow-coloured, half-shaved, like, do you know what I mean? Several piercings.
Flat white in hand.
Like, what's to look at with me, bro? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And it's like, if you're going to stare, at least just be like, hey, cool hair, bro. Say something. Don't just stare at me. It's the same. Do you know what I mean? I
hate that law, man.
It's very weird. Very, very weird.
You know, it's weird. It's hypnotic in a way, though. Shoreditch. If you visit it for a day, it's kind of quirky, but you slowly become one of them. Like I got hooked on the flat whites.
I got Starbucks for breakfast.
Yo, that's it.
And I
transformation
was like,
complete.
The fuck has happened to me? You know what I mean? And after your podcast, I went in there and I no longer give my real name because I didn't know that was an etiquette in Starbucks. So now people go, "Oh, what's your name?" And I go, "Bob."
I try to give you a name, son.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I've done it bad times. I ordered it and I forgot the name I gave him. And so they're shouting out like,
that's
yo,
what happens.
Percy, yo, where's Percy? Here's the thing I love though. I feel like the big man every time I roll through Shoreditch, because you know when you like walk into a room, I don't know, maybe this is me aspiring alpha mentality. You know, I'm not quite alpha, but I'm not beta. You know, I'm kind of like halfway. But you know when you walk into a room and you're not, I could beat up everyone in here. Get gassed. I get that with Shoreditch. I gotta walk into the neighborhood. I could knock everyone out. What's up?
Like, I look at my dad and I think, yeah, you're Homer. Even today, he went to go look at. They bought this shitty farmhouse 5-10 years ago, and they thought they'd be able to sell it. And then Spain went into massive poverty, so they weren't able to sell the house. My dad went out to do a recce to see if they could value the house to sell it. First night, he got too drunk that he forgot where his hotel was. He had to sleep in the street.
Oh, man.
And then on the second night, he got back to the house and, like, he went outside to get a breath of fresh air, have a drink, and his mate came out. As he came out, the door slammed shut. He realised the keys were in the house, so he couldn't get in. He thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to call someone. Realised his phone was in the house, so he couldn't call anyone. So he said to his mate, Beasley, I'm going to go check around the back. Maybe I can wedge your ways in there. Leant down to see if he could see anything down there. Was like, no, there's nothing I can see here. Lifted his head, metal pipe, scratched all down his nose. Shoot. Like, my dad is Homer Simpson. My dad is Homer Simpson. Everything. Had to call my mum at 4 o'clock in the morning. Managed to find a way to get his hand in. Got his phone. Called my mum. 4 o'clock in the morning. Woke her up just to find a way of finding his way home. My dad is Homer Simpson.
Man. There's a TV character who reminds me a lot of my old man. Okay. It's like super embarrassing these days.
Okay.
Basically, Bill Cosby in it. Let me clarify. Basically, my dad looks very like Bill Cosby, like identical. Like he looks exact.
Yo. Okay.
Like, just like physical resemblance, but like they could be twins, but like nothing else. That's where that's where the similarities end. Yeah.
That's a stipulation you have to state.
Artie Lang said there's only 2 shows that have ever been made that like idiots and smart people can like simultaneously, and it's Seinfeld and The Simpsons, and I fully agree with that. The older I get, the more I'm like, yo, you can find that funny for the slapstick of it, or you can see like them signs that we're talking about where they're saying, like, yo, these guys are Masons and they know.
You know what time I went to a Masonic lodge?
No,
cool. It was underwhelming. I thought it was going to be dudes doing mad rituals. No, it was like a country club.
I bet they got something in the stones, and also I bet there's like little encryptions. But I had a school teacher who was like, I say he claimed, I'm not going to make him out to be a liar, but yeah, he was like quite high up. Like he said, he was quite high up, but he said his parent or like dad or granddad or whatever was like right up there.
Yo.
But yeah, he was like a proper dunce, but I always knew that there was something else there.
That's to throw you off.
So like, he was fully working.
He knows who killed Kennedy. Everything.
He was working me my whole life. I used to go into like, because that was my height of being like watching YouTube Illuminati videos and thinking that everything was amazing. Thinking I knew the business of so I used to catch him out, and I'd be like, what about them Palladian aliens then? And I said, he'd look at me, he'd go, are those the ones that everyone says are lizards? And I'd be like, no, they're the ones that look like us, but like Nordic. And he'd go, yeah, and then just act like he didn't know what I was on about. But I was like, then why are you bringing up reptiles then, bruv? You know.
The reason I like it is because it's a really good look at like the demonizing of people in
exactly
demonizing of people in the media when something goes wrong. Everyone wants to jump on it. Every news station has that amazing bit where Homer goes in to talk to a news station about it, and then the editor just splices up everything.
Rock bottom.
It's called rock bottom. And then he's like, he thinks he's nailed it, and then he comes out, and then you see the edited version of it, and he's like, I just saw her sweet can, and I had to grab her sweet can. Oh, I wish I had her sweet can right now. And he's like, and then it cuts to the interviewer who's in a totally different place outside instead of inside, like clearly just spliced in. And he's like, do you have any apologies to say? And it's just him frozen. And he's like, your silence only incriminates you more. No, Mr. Simpson. No, don't attack me. Don't take your anger out of me.
Have you seen this show? This is what it reminds me of. To Catch a Predator.
Oh my God, I used to watch it all the time.
Wow, this is the best TV show on the planet.
Hour after hour. At work, mostly. At a job I used to have, I got made redundant on a year to the day. Probably saw my internet history and thought he's either slacking off or he's a paedophile and trying to get tips on how to avoid Chris Hansen.
I'm from Daylight NBC.
You ever see it? And they've always seen it as well. You ever seen it? Yes. Fuck. Oh man, it's addictive viewing.
Yeah,
But yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's appalling. I'll be real with you. It's kind of medieval though, right?
Yeah, it is.
But man, it's good viewing.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where like it nearly makes you. You never sympathize with the guy.
Right.
It's just discomfort. It's not sympathizing. It's just like more sympathizing purely for the discomfort.
Yeah.
And just being like, oh God, just imagine the panic and every single thought that would be going through your head as you're like, what can I put? Like, I've got a bag full of dildos and drugs in my hand. Like, and they've got all this evidence.
Yeah.
And yet they always are like, no, this was, and I'm like, how are you, what are you thinking's going to happen with all these cameramen? And you know, there are police that like, what are you expecting to come out of that? Best case scenario, you somehow get out of jail, but you're still getting tackled and beaten up. Jesus.
I love how, the houses are always so nice.
Yeah.
Like if somebody invited me to a house like that, I'd turn around.
Yeah.
You could do it in London. My place is so small, you'd see Chris Hansen the second you walked in. You just have
Take a seat. Where do what, on this beanbag that you've like stolen from a creche?
Lord. Oh, man. Oh. All right, yeah. What episode are we on about here?
Home of Bad Man.
Home of Bad
So
Man,
yeah, so
yeah.
then he goes. So